All right. Good morning to each and every one of you. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day. We want to welcome you to our webinar workshop this beautiful Thursday morning. We appreciate you spending just a small part of your day with us. My name is Brian Griffin, a marketing assistant here at Messer Financial Group. Many of you are already familiar with Messer, but just in case you are not, we are an agent-focused FMO located in beautiful Mint Hill, North Carolina. We started with only 2 agents, and we are now serving thousands of agents across 40 states, and we are still growing. So all of us know that this business is built on relationship. Our relationship with our clients, which is obviously very important. Our uplines are also a relationship that we want to maintain, and hopefully we have a good relationship with. But what I found is every once in a while, you establish a great relationship with a carrier. So for Messer and many of our agents, we found a great relationship and have a great relationship with National General. If you'll be honest, sometimes the relationships with carriers can almost feel adversarial. And truth is, many of them have the same products, some of them have similar pricing, but the relationship might be on 2 separate spectrums. So today, we're going to be speaking with Phil Mishler from National General. Now, National General has been helping people since 1939. They've helped more than 350,000 people find health insurance. And, and actually, they've been a leader in their response also concerning the current health crisis. Phil has 30 years experience in the health insurance space, both as an agent and a wholesaler historically, and his team has a combined 80 years experience in health insurance. So before we do get started, I want to go over the housekeeping rules. We're going to hold all questions until the end of the presentation. If you do have a question, type it in the box on the right-hand side of your screen, and we'll address your question at the end of the presentation. So now, without any further delay, Mr. Phil Mishler.
Thank you. Thank you for that lead-in. That was the best lead-in anyone's ever given us. So thank you very much. To the agents on the call today, thanks for being on the call. We're pushing up against a holiday weekend. Today's probably going to be a pretty busy day for all of you. So we appreciate you being here. We appreciate Messer Financial. Not only is Messer as an organization great to work with, but the agents are just super professional, and you're patient people, right? We're not. No insurance company's perfect, and so when there's bumps in the road, you folks have been very, very generous with your patience. If you've written business with us already, thank you for your business, and thank you for not only your past business, but the business that comes in recently, because it matters now more than ever. To still continue to receive business from the writing agents. And I'm impressed by the fact that most of you are juggling so many things at the same time, but you still find a way to write new business. So thank you. If you're new to National General, or you're looking at us for the first time, I'm hoping that you're going to hear or see something today on this webinar to make you more comfortable with what we have. But now is the best time and is the most appropriate time to be there to help your customers. People are in financial pain and they need our help. And I know that sounds pretty basic, but it's a needed resource right at this time. And we've got unemployment in the United States sitting at 22 million people that don't have a job. And many people take COBRA, even though they don't have ongoing medical conditions, because they just didn't know short-term medical was available. And as you know, COBRA is just crazy expensive because you're shouldering the full burden of the cost of the health insurance from your old job, so, or the job you used to have. So with that being said, I wanted to introduce you to my team. This is most of my team, and as you can see at the top, I forgot to put a title on it, but so this is your NatGen team. We are not nameless, faceless people at some 800 number. We don't leave. We don't flip reps. You see me in the upper left there. I don't look like that now because my hair is about 3 times as long. I look like a hippie. But I'm not going to complain about not being able to get a haircut, because that's way down on the list of problems people are having today. So Chaz James is somewhat new. He's been here just under 2 years, and he's located in very close to Messer's home office in Huntersville, North Carolina. And the one thing I'd like to say about Chaz is Chaz was the #1 rep in the United States for Geico Insurance a couple of years ago. So we're happy to have him. For those of you who don't know Nancy in the upper right here, Nancy is housed in our Milwaukee, Wisconsin office and does a lot of our training. So since she's not on the road traveling and selling, she's really a great resource when you need help fast or you have a quick question to get an app in the door. The most important person on our team is Tabitha Jackson. As it was mentioned earlier, our team has 80 years of combined experience specific to the health insurance space. And so if you're currently writing, Tabitha is somebody that can straighten out situations that need additional attention and maybe more of a human touch than just a member services person. So I'm super proud of my team. Thank you for letting me talk to you about my team. All right, so National General, we're a $5 billion revenue company, A- excellent rated. If you are sitting in North Carolina this morning, by the end of this year, we will be the top 3rd or 4th auto carrier in your state. So it represents a lot of work. So in addition to health insurance, we do have quite a few other products that we offer. So this is what we're going to be talking about today. Basically, short-term medical. We have both what I would call an existing and a new product. The new product isn't really new anymore. We do have a brand new fixed indemnity plan, which is awesome and has a lot of applicability for folks who might be in a tight financial spot currently. And then we're going to talk about insuring folks out of pocket, right? Because there's 2 problems with health insurance. One is just the cost to have it. And secondly, which can be equally as bedeviling, is the cost to actually use your insurance. So that's what we're going to do. So I wanted to start with this because in today's current environment where people might not want to go see a doctor or might not be able to see a doctor. So I'll tell you what you're looking at here. So in most states, in order to get our short-term medical product, the customer must join our L.I.F.E association, which is a $15 a month charge. And it comes with a whole lot of benefits, some you can see here, but the 2 that matter the most to me and probably to most of your customers is with that L.I.F E association membership comes with a telemedicine benefit that is free to use. So if you are familiar with telemedicine, you know when you call, you're getting an actual real doctor. And what you may not know is if you roll into an urgent care center, you may or may not be seeing a real doctor. You may be seeing someone as far as 2 rungs down the ladder from a doctor. So telemedicine is also a good way to ease your customer into what they'd have to pay out of pocket, right? So if you're my customer, I tell you, hey, the first thing you should do if you don't have a medical emergency is you're going to try and call the telemedicine line because it's free. If they say that you need medical attention, you can use our urgent care benefit, which I'll talk about in a little bit, but the urgent care is unlimited visits on our short term at $50 a visit. So pretty important, free to use, all of that for $15 a month. And of course, it does come with a pharmacy discount card, which provides discounts for non-pre-existing conditions. Okay, so obviously in this top portion here, traditional buyers, the second bullet point, COBRA. As I mentioned earlier, there's 22 million people out of work right now. And if you're looking to try and connect with those people, if you are not familiar, there's something that you can Google in about 4 seconds called a WARN notice, W-A-R-N, then the word notice, and then put in the 2-letter acronym for your state. And what it's going to do, it's going to pull up a list of all the employers who have people who are being laid off. And so the trick there, though, is it obviously doesn't give you folks phone numbers to call each person at their house, but it does give you an idea. And if you're not scared of the telephone and you pick it up and call that company, they might be very happy to hear from you. Certainly if they care and love their employees, that they have a pathway to possibly paying less than COBRA. So in the bottom section, I think it's important to note that, look, if you get a subsidy on an ACA plan, then that's a good way to go. But if you don't get a subsidy and you're paying the full boat, I would say to you this, in many years, most years, the rate goes up for the ACA plan. The out-of-pocket goes up every year, as you know, but certainly the most important thing to me is in some cases the network shrinks. So there's many reasons that you'd want to consider short-term medical, and those are just a few. So when we talk about suitability, if you're new to short-term medical, on the left here you have a best fit customer, and on the right are conditions and situations that just would not be a good fit. So if you're new to short-term medical, here's what you need to know. You're only going to be able to help about 50% of the people that you run into. The 50% that you can help fall into the left-hand category, and the 50% of the people you can't help are in the right-hand category, right? And the reason is because short-term medical does not cover pre-existing conditions. It's kind of like a rental car. It's going to get you from point A to point B. It's going to cover things that develop that are new. And I think, to me, for a new agent, that's really the fit. The trick is to separate everybody so that you're not wasting your time. I think you folks get what I'm saying. So this map, I'm going to explain it to you, although you can read here in the lower left what's going on. But in the green states is what I would refer to as our current short-term medical product. The blue states are what I would refer to as our new PPO short-term. And the only exception here is Virginia. Virginia just got approved for the new product, the new short-term medical with offices at Copays. And that's, if you're in Virginia or you're right in Virginia, that's going to go live for quoting on June 12th. So just a couple of weeks away. Hopefully you find yourself in certainly a green or blue state. We have some trouble in these red states because legislation that makes short-term hard to market. So on our current short-term medical, so when I say current, this would be, again, and assuming there's a few people from North Carolina on the phone, this is our current product for short-term medical in the state of North Carolina. It's a product that we've had for many years. The biggest feature of it is the Aetna Open Choice PPO network. It's going to have basically every hospital that matters, and in most areas, you're going to have trouble finding a doctor that doesn't participate with that network. Down at the bottom left here, where it says easy enrollment, it's important to note that we do offer child-only policies. They need to be, child-only need to be 2 months old, and we do issue coverage through age 64. Talked about the urgent care copay earlier. It is unlimited visits at $50. What you need to know is that $50 covers your customer walking in the door and being diagnosed. If they're getting expensive testing like MRIs, CAT scans, X-rays, blood work, those type of charges will skip the deductible but will apply to the coinsurance. So it's important to note, if you have someone that spends a lot of time in urgent care because they got some children in sports or for whatever reason, if you were to put that customer on one of our plans with deductible and 100% coinsurance, anything they get done in the urgent care is covered under that $50 copay. So hope that makes sense to you. All right. So in our existing plan, these are the plan combinations. So as you see here, we still offer deductible and 100% here. So you could do a $2,500 deductible 100%. You can do a $5,000 deductible 100%. With the existing product, 50% isn't super attractive as a coinsurance because you're stuck with a $250,000 maximum as you look in the far right side here. So, you know, I would not be comfortable as an agent taking someone out of an ACA policy and putting them into a $250,000 maximum. But the good news is with the new product, that goes away. So as we go forward on a prospective basis, the 50% coinsurance is going to be a really great way to lower the rate and possibly add some supplemental coverage on top or underneath of the short-term plan. So the new product, now it's specific to North Carolina. We filed the new product about a year and a half ago, and they are still checking network adequacy because it is a network-only product. We do expect the approval to come before open enrollment. So I'm just going to give you a preview of what you would get for North Carolina agents, and then any state like Ohio and Virginia that are getting or already have the new product. So with the new product, we listened. You folks said that you needed a plan that offered offices of copays, drug copays, and we delivered. And we also offer discounts. If you pay annually today in a current product state, it's a 7% discount. With the new PPO short term, it is a 22% discount, and we will do prorated refunds. So if you have customers that don't like a hand in their pocket every month with an automatic withdrawal, not only are they going to save money, but if something happens and they get other coverage, we will give them a prorated refund on single pay. Probably the most important feature of the new product is this last bullet point. You have the ability to take multiple years applications at the same time. So if you're my customer, Mr. Customer, I can tell you what your 2020 rate's going to be, your 2021 rate, and your 2022 rate is going to be at the time of application, something that you cannot do with an Affordable Care Act type plan. So we talked a little bit about eligibility. We will write child-only policies. We will cover dependent children to age 26, just like an ACA type plan. This last bullet point, with the implementation of the new product, we will be doing an RX check. So very rarely somebody will check no to the 6 health history questions, but they may have forgotten they're taking a medication, which might be caught in the underwriting check. It happens rarely. But it is a good thing in my mind, because we don't want to bring someone in the door that's going to wind up being a policy rescission, a year from now or 6 months from now. It's better to address it up front. I'm sure you agree. Oh, you know what? I want to go back for a second. It's important to note, really important to note, that we do not require Social Security number for any of our products. So we will take foreigners, foreign travelers, foreign students here studying. It doesn't matter as long as they're here legally, and that's all of our products. Okay, so this is the new product in the states that we talked about. If you look here in the far right, you'll see we offer with the new product $40 primary copays, $60 specialist copays, and a true $10 generic drug card. So the way that the $3,000 maximum works on the pharmacy piece is, let's pretend your generic drug's $40. You're only going to pay $10, but it's that $40 that credits towards this $3,000 maximum. Here is the most exciting part of this Copay Enhanced PPO is we will actually cover pre-existing conditions on the drug piece. So here's how it works. It's common to bring somebody in the door that might, let's say, have hypertension or high cholesterol. And with the current product, or let's say call it the old product, you would have to tell that customer, okay, great, you can make through underwriting, but your hypertension and cholesterol are going to be considered pre-existing, and you're going to have to start paying for those drugs out of your pocket or use Good RX to get a discount. If the customer buys up to this Copay Enhanced PPO, we're actually going to cover pre-existing conditions on the drug piece. Now, there's a couple things you need to know. Number one, the exclusions for the drug are still predicated on our medical exclusions. So, for example, if you bring someone in the door who's taking a mental nervous drug, they're not going to get the opportunity to get a $10 generic copay on that because it's a non-covered charge under the medical side. So it's not every drug at $10 generic. It's drugs, it's conditions that would be covered under the medical, and that's your pass for your customer to get pre-existing coverage on the drug piece only. It also is important to note that these offices of copays and this $10 drug copay do not credit towards the out-of-pocket on the medical part. So with the Copay Enhanced, you can still get 100% coverage. You could do a $6,000 deductible here on the left and 100% coverage. If your customer buys up to this, they're now getting a $5 million maximum. And you'll see there's some other deductible and coinsurance options. The number of office visits depends on the length of coverage. So if you're in a policy lasting more than 7 months, each person gets 2 office copays, a total of 4 per family. One family member could use up all 4 office visits. Office visits beyond that simply credit towards the deductible and the coinsurance. We talked about the drug piece. The PBM on this is CVS. It does not mean that your customers can only use CVS. For those of you who don't know, CVS provides drugs to independent pharmacies. So it is not just CVS. They just happen to be the pharmacy benefit manager for the drug part. If your customer buys up to the Copay Enhanced, they only get $10 generic drugs. We do not provide discounts on brand or specialty medications. It's important to note that most brand and specialty medications have a generic alternative. Okay, so the new product is basically a low, medium, high kind of a deal. There's 3 options. So this is what I would refer to as the middle option. And as you see, when I talked about 50% coinsurance earlier, the 50% now has not only the same out of pocket as the 80/20, but it's got $1 million maximum. So this middle option is very similar to our current or existing, or I'm going to refer to as our old product. So you could do a 2,500%, you do 2,500 50/50. Down here, you could do a 5,000. And then if you have somebody who really wants a high deductible because maybe you want to sell some supplemental coverages underneath of it so they can actually use their plan, we have high deductibles available. This is what I refer to as the low plan. The official name is Essentials PPO. I don't like it. I'm showing you this plan for this specific reason. If your customer bought this low option here in orange, it says outpatient services limited to 15 grand and your coverage period maximum is $250,000. I wouldn't be comfortable with that as the agent. And I'm saying if your customer wants to save money, take a higher deductible in the medium or the copay options. I hope that makes sense to you. Okay, so I talked about the network. It's great. If you want to see it for yourself, down here in the lower left is the website address. It's pretty easy, mynatgen.com/Aetna Open Choice. Don't forget to put the 3 letters PPO at the end, like I did, and not be able to find the network. So to me, this is the keystone of our whole short-term plan. It's a great network. It plugs your customers into discounts. If you're using the network, a non-specialist office it's going to be around $70. So it's a good discount. Your customer's dollar is going to go further. I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. Okay, with the new product, we have several options. So you can do what we would call a 12x2, which is 2 12-month policies done at the same time. Now, they're not actually 12-month policies. They're 364 days, 1 day shy of a year. The reason for that is if it was 365, that we would be basically have to comply with all the requirements of the Affordable Care Act. So when I say 12 months, I really mean 364 days. Okay, you get it. So obviously it's going to give your customers rate certainty. There is a 15% load for the premium in that second year. You will see that rate when you take the application. It's important to note that the first policy effective date is the date that we start to calculate the pre-existing conditions. So, for example, if you bring someone in on a 2-year policy, we only look at pre-existing conditions on that first 12 months. So, for example, if you bring in somebody, let's say, that has psoriasis, In the first 12 months, we're not going to pay for the psoriasis. But when that second policy that you bought the same day kicks in a year from now, we will actually pick up pre-existing conditions with the understanding of the second bullet point, which is your deductible and your maximum out of pocket will reset in that second policy period. So as I mentioned earlier, your customer's getting rate transparency. This middle point's important to note. If you do a next day effective date, and next day effective dates are available for all of our products. If you do that for short term, your customer does have a 7-day wait for sickness, as you can see in the middle of the screen here. If you punch out the effective date, like if you're my customer and I'm writing you today for a June 1st start date, there is no 7-day wait. So hope that makes sense. This last bullet point, super important. Your customer's buying the whole nationwide Aetna network. So if they move out of state 2 months after they buy it, they still get to keep their plan. If they buy it and they go on vacation and they need to use it wherever they are, they're away for business, they get access to the full network. All right, I've already mentioned that point. There's 2 ways to pay with us. On the far right, it's electronic funds transfer out of a checking account or a credit card, and they can use credit card for every payment if they choose to. And don't forget, that's the single pay option here in the middle. It's a 7% discount for existing product, 22% discount for the new short-term PPO. So this is just a recap of what we talked about. This should all look familiar to you. We're really excited about the new product. Sales are really up, and more importantly, the customer, if you're trying to bridge someone, let's say somebody retires early and you're trying to bridge them to Medicare, it makes it easier to do that with the multi-year guarantee. Okay. In addition to offering short-term medical, remember earlier I was talking about insuring people's out-of-pocket. This is what we have for that. And I don't have a ton of slides on this because what I really like to do is show you what it looks like in the quote system, but I do want to explain what these are. So we have a product called the Plan Enhancer. AME stands for accident medical expense. So if you were to purchase this, or your customers to purchase this, that is a set amount they get every single time they get an accident. And then there's 2 riders for Plan Enhancer. They can get, CHS stands for cancer, heart, and stroke. So if you were to offer the Plan Enhancer with accident medical expense, cancer, heart, stroke, both of those products are guarantee issue. If they breathe air and they got a credit card, they can get it. We also offer a rider for, the SIP stands for sickness hospitalization. So that does ask 3 health questions. But if your customer can qualify for short term, they could certainly qualify for the sickness hospitalization product. So they're getting 3 types of coverages: accident, cancer, heart, stroke, and cash if they get sick once a year and go in the hospital. All of it's guarantee issue except for the sickness piece. We move a lot of it. And if you're not familiar with supplemental products, and I know a lot of people on the call mention it every time because they love their customers, B, they know their customer doesn't have the funds to even cover their out-of-pocket, and they have the conversation. We also offer TrioMed. It's very similar to Plan Enhancer. Customers getting an accident medical expense benefit per accident, less than $250 deductible, and they get critical illness. This product here, Trit, is guarantee issue. Okay, all of the products that you see here stand alone. You don't have to buy our short-term medical product to get these. We also offer all of these products on a group list bill basis with a minimum of 2 people. So if you have a group plan, if you're a group producer and the deductible just went up this year, or the out-of-pocket went up, which happens most years, right? Employers are in pain, they're struggling. These products can be list billed to a small business or any size business or an association for the employees that want to take advantage of these benefits. So I'm a TrioMed policy holder. Another thing to mention about TrioMed specifically is if you add TrioMed to our short-term medical sale, we waive the $15 association fee per month. So they're going to get that telemedicine benefit. They're going to get the discount prescription drug benefit. And the cost of that TrioMed product is basically half because the premiums give or take $30. If we take 15 off, it's like getting it for $15. We do sell standalone underwritten cancer, heart, stroke. When I say underwritten, it's simplify issue. You answer the health history questions, no, your customer's going to get it. We sell hospital expense protection, which is cash once a year. If your customer gets sick and goes in the hospital, it does have a couple of health questions. We have a critical illness policy, which your customer can get a large chunk of money. That comes with 10-year term life insurance. And then we do, and I know you folks have every carrier you work with probably beating on you for life insurance. We do sell very inexpensive simplify issue term life insurance. We don't expect you to just sell that standalone, but if you're in our system helping somebody and you realize they're a young couple, they have an unfunded college education, they're newly married, and they could use some life insurance, it's there for you. The product I'm going to be spending a little more time on this morning is what we call our National General Foundation Health, and it says /access because we retooled it in a bunch of states, and I'll show you what states they are. We lowered the rate it's a fixed indemnity plan. We lowered the rates, we made the benefits better, and it's worth your time, especially now when people are struggling to cover their out-of-pocket or find health insurance they could even afford. And we do sell either a dental PPO or a dental indemnity, depending on what your state is. If you're in a state where we have our dental PPO, that is a true, fully insured PPO dental, 180/50, just like a group plan. If you bought the richest benefit, it's a $2,000 annual maximum, which is actually richer than my Delta dental coverage made available through National General. So it is super strong. The dental indemnity is cash for your customer to use any dentist. And some states have both products. So it's for people who value dental. Dental is the easiest supplemental product to promote because many people value having dental. And many dental plans are flat out waste of money. If you've been in the business a while, you know that. These two are worth looking at. All right, so why does any of this supplemental stuff matter? I'll tell you why. If you look at this graph, and I'm not going to show you 100 examples, I've got one slide, and I think it's important. Along the bottom here is the annual income for a household. And this number here at the top of each line is what's left over in their checking account at the end of the month. So you could see a single person making $45,000 a year that might be in a $4,500 out-of-pocket plan. That person doesn't have the cash to cover their out-of-pocket. That's why conversations about these type of products are important. The sad part is most customers don't know these products exist, and they're relying on you to bring it up. So if it's new to you and you're not sure how to start the conversation, I'm going to help you. You should consider asking your customer two questions. What is the out-of-pocket on your health insurance? And do you have a family history of cancer? Because 40% of the people you talk to on the phone or 40% of the people who come in your door every day have a family history of cancer. They're waiting for you to make a conversation, to start a conversation about these products. Here's what else is important. The prices for these products never change. So the price that you come in the door today is the price you're going to pay 5 or even 10 years from now. Now, we reserve the right to raise the rates on these products. We never have. So if you think about it, how much comfort would it be to know that, okay, fine, my health insurance is going to go up every year, but somebody was smart enough to have the conversation with me about these supplemental products, and I've got a supplement, the price never goes up. And I can take it wherever I go. If I get employer-sponsored health insurance, I can still keep my supplement. So I don't want to sound like I'm preaching. Hopefully I don't. But if you're not involved with talking about these benefits now, another way to get into it is if you're an ACA producer. Every customer that winds up buying a silver or a bronze ACA plan without a subsidy, have the conversation. I promise you, if you try it, you'll always do it. Talk to the other people at Messer, the folks who sell supplemental benefits. They never stop. Once they realize everything I just said is true, they always bring it up. And they let the customer decide. Please don't make the decision for your customer. All right, I'm off my soapbox. All right. So some of you may or may not be familiar with what we call a fixed benefit indemnity plan. And you can see some statistics here. I think the one that's most important is here in the middle. 44% of Americans don't go to a doctor when they're sick or injured because of the cost. I mean, today you can't even go see a doctor, right? Under certain cases because they're closed. Like I got a doctor's appointment tomorrow. They're going to call me. And I'm like, okay, it's a follow-up for something I have going on. And so I said to the person making the appointment, I said, wait a minute, the doctor's going to call me. He's going to ask me if I'm doing okay. I'm going to say, yeah, I'm doing okay. And I have to pay $50. And she's like, yeah, that's how it's going to happen. So I kind of lost my point there. But basically, people are scared to go to the doctor and or they can't go to the doctor. So why fixed indemnity? Here's a couple of reasons. But what is this? So fixed indemnity, as you can see here, is an affordable way. What makes it affordable is it has no deductible. So I just think about this for a minute. We all have a customer who, if we asked them and they were frank with us and open and honest about it, many of your customers would tell you, certainly in certain income brackets, Phil, $5,000 deductible on my health insurance. In my world, I can't even use my plan because I don't have 5,000. So fixed indemnity plans solve the problem of somebody who can't pay a deductible. They're looking for all first dollar benefits. So let's take a look at a little more deeper here. So, so our fixed indemnity plan is a permanent health insurance plan. There's a couple of health questions they have to answer to get in the door, but it is a permanent plan that can take them to age 65. And remember what I said earlier, the rates never change. So what's it look like? So if you look here at the top, we have names for these plans. This plan is available in North Carolina right now. I have a screen that shows you the other states where this is available. So we have a value plan, fundamentals enhanced, and a guarantee issue. So just looking at the value plan, if you purchase this plan, and the benefits grow over time. So if you purchase this plan, you're going to get $75 towards an office visit. And remember what I mentioned earlier, if you're at a non-specialist visit in network, your negotiated discounted non-specialist office visit is right around $75. But if you were to keep it in the third year, you'd still get the same amount, but you get 4 office visits. So I'm sorry, the benefit doesn't increase every year. The amount of times you can use it increases with regard to that benefit. They're getting, they're getting $100 towards an urgent care visit, 2 per year. Now you folks can read. I'm not going to read all this to you, but I want to get to the next page. Might even be 2 away. So there is a skilled nursing, depending on what level you buy. In this case, you'd have to buy enhanced to get it, but you folks can read and see what you're getting there. This is what I was looking at. So the hospital admission, if you bought the value plan, you're getting $500 3 times a year just when you're admitted. In year 1 on the value plan, you're going to get $1,000 a day with no cap, and that benefit grows to $1,500 in year 3. And if you're confined for an injury, you can read what the benefit is and how it grows every year. Now, if you notice, the value and the guarantee issue benefits are very, very similar. I want to stop shy of saying they're exactly the same. And you might be asking yourself, Phil, how's the value and the guarantee issue the same benefit? We charge a little extra for the guarantee issue, okay? And then you see your ICU and your health practitioner inpatient benefit. This is probably the most straightforward and best part. If you're familiar with fixed indemnity plans as an agent, some of you may know that many companies that have this type of plan have a surgery schedule that's hard to get. They don't want you to see it. They protect it. I can't say the name of the company that does it the worst, but it isn't good, especially when the agents can't get a benefit. How do you explain it to your customer if you don't understand it? So our surgery benefit, our outpatient surgery benefit is straightforward. They get what you see here, $5,000 per surgery. And if you're in one of these middle plans, we actually give coverage for an assistant surgeon. Okay. Oop. Uh-oh, went too far. Hang on. There we go. And then you may be asking yourself, Phil, what's the difference between tier 1 and tier 2 right here in the upper left? Tier 1 is an expensive surgery, and tier 2 is an inexpensive surgery. Now, some of you may be sitting in your chair right now going, holy cow, Phil, I don't know how comfortable I would be selling a plan. Let me go back one more page, and I'm done with the PowerPoint in a minute. You might be sitting in your chair saying, Phil, I mean, dear Lord, even if I bought this enhanced plan with $9,000 a day, my customer could still be uninsured. So here's a couple things to think about if that's what you're thinking. Yes, it is true that you could benefit out. You could wind up having a hospital bill that's more than what these benefits pay out. And you might be thinking to yourself, Phil, I'm never going to promote that because I'm scared the customer's going to not understand it, have half their hospital, have a portion of their hospital bill that they have to pay after all the benefits have paid out. I'm not comfortable selling that. So I have news for you. A couple of things. Here's who it's applicable for. These type of products were designed for folks who, and we did a lot of focus groups, so did other insurance companies, and we found out that there's a certain segment of the population that really prefers to have all first dollar benefits. They weren't so concerned about hospital bills that didn't get paid under the plan. They needed the first dollar benefits. It's those folks who tell you a $5,000 benefit is like having no coverage in my world. So that's the first type of buyer. I'm on the phone with a woman yesterday in Virginia, and I'm all excited to tell her about the new short-term medical product that's coming out. And halfway through telling her about it, I stopped myself and I said, you know what? How often do you run into short-term medical? And she goes, yeah, I run into it occasionally, Phil, but you know what I'm really looking for? Now, this is suburban DC. This is Northern Virginia. And you know what she said to me? She says, Phil, I have a lot of customers that are looking for a zero deductible medical plan. Well, that's what this is, right? If you're worried about tapping out in the hospital, if you're worried about getting extra cash, most agents that promote these plans sell other products around it, right? Like our Trio Med, they get an additional accident benefit. They get additional benefit for sickness hospitalization. If you're promoting this as primary health insurance with a customer, it is really appropriate to make sure that you're adding some supplements with it so it's a full package. The third type of buyer for this plan is somebody who says to you, hey, I want to take a super high deductible and I want to I want to put this product underneath of it and have an unbeatable combination. So think about this for a second. Forget about this as primary insurance. Pretend you have the value plan giving you cash for all this stuff. Your customer's going to have a better buy-in. They're going to be more comfortable using their plan. And then the last thing I wanted to tell you is think about this. If you had any carrier short-term medical plan and you had a $1,800 hospital or emergency room stay, on our short-term plan, you're going to be subject to most of your deductible, maybe all of your deductible for that $1,800. That's not the case with Access. Your customer is going to get cash to cover a lot of that. And in the end, they're going to owe less than $1,800. So I don't want to go on and on. This is a good value for a certain customer. And I guess maybe there's a fourth category of folks who are like, look, I lost my job. I'm having trouble paying my mortgage. I dropped my health insurance. Okay. Now you've got a customer who would benefit from having any coverage, would benefit from having a discount so their dollar goes further when they use the network. One thing I did forget to mention, this plan allows your customer to use any doctor, any hospital, or they can use the network. I think I have a slide, and I don't want to make you dizzy. Just bear with me a second. I believe I'm going to make you dizzy. No, I don't want to do it. I will send to Messer the network link for this product, because it's not Aetna, it's First Health. And I want to be specific. Certainly, if you want to look at it, you need to know how to look up providers. So I'll put that on the WEO list for the end. For those of you, stay with us, because I'm just going to show you how these packages get put together. But if you do need more information on your own and you like to be on YouTube, check us out, because there's a lot more information that you can learn if you go to our website. Let me see if I can get out of this. Go over here. Okay, so once you get appointed, you're going to have access to our website. This is what it looks like. But before I get into running a quick sample quote here, I wanted to show you something. So earlier I talked about the warn notices and how you might be able, if you're not scared of the phone, to call some of these companies that have big layoffs. And maybe if they love and care for their employees and they want to give them a pathway to pay less, you might even have the ability to take your short-term medical consumer-facing link and put it on the employer's website or the association's website, so that customers can just enroll themselves and you get credit. So here's how you get your link. In the top of the screen, just click Settings. Scroll down to ePro Consumer Quoting Links. So it's 2 clicks to get here. And then these are all your consumer-facing links. You would simply copy and paste. You folks know how to do that, and you can put it wherever you want it, on your website, on their website. But let's just look at what it looks like. So when we look at it, this is going to say your name, and it's going to have your phone number, and it's basically a simple Amazon type checkout where they put in their zip code. So hopefully you may find that helpful, and if you do, that's how you get it. So to run a quote, you're right at the quote screen when you get in here. I'm going to do a North Carolina example today. If you were doing a child-only policy, you would check this box and it would set you up for child-only. So we're going to do an example on a 42-year-old male. We're going to do a next day effective date. Because we're in North Carolina, we just have 12 months coverage. Now, if you're in here running dental or accident only, you'll still have to answer this short-term medical, because that's the way the website's set up. Just understand, if you're in dental or accident, it's not a 12-month policy. It's permanent. Well, it's not permanent. It's covered to age 65 for most of our products, or 70 if it's dental. But you will have to answer this. Just understand, it's not a 12-month dental plan. We're a 12-month accident plan. So for those of you who sometimes, it happens to all of us, forget to talk about insuring folks out of pockets, we remind you of that with this little package that we made. Okay, I don't want to get into the package other than to tell you it's a pretty robust package. But if you like to go out with the same type of plan every time, or maybe you're scared you're going to forget to talk about supplemental because it's new to you, click this customize button and make a package that you're comfortable with. But for our purposes today, and many oftentimes, if you're in a hurry, you're just going to click here and see all plans. Then you're going to see everything. So when you come in here, we have tabs for all of our products. I'm not going to go through all these tabs, but it defaults to the short term. So as you scroll down here, you can see for a 42-year-old male what the price is. I like the 5,000 100%. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. And then your cart is obviously over here. And if I come up and I remember what Phil Mishler said, I'm like, oh, you know what? Let's look at some of these dental plans. If you bought our richest dental plan, which is called the Plus plan, you can see the price here. This is a $1,500 calendar year maximum, cash to use any dentist. They get $100 twice a year to get their teeth cleaned. I own this dental plan myself a couple of years ago, and it worked great. If the customer submits the bill, we send the cash to the customer. If the provider submits the bill, we send the cash to the provider. If you're willing to pay us $3 extra per month, right here where you say Dental Plus Network Savings Card, there's a $3 difference for all these products. That will plug you into the Carrington Dental Network. But what it also does is Carrington has a vision discount network using VSP. So if you've been around a while, you know VSP is one of the America's robust vision networks. It's pretty cool, and you get all that for $3 a month. But you still don't have to use the network. It's just if you want to. All right, so you're now all dental experts. The fixed indemnity tab, here's where we see the access plan and the value option. Right, so I'm going to go ahead and add this because I want like a super strong package for this customer. So if we look at this package, their monthly cost is $261. This customer has a $5,000 deductible 100% plan, and they're getting cash for almost every type of service that they could get done. This customer with this package is driving down the street going, I'm covered. Because my agent was willing to have the conversation. I took a deductible that was a little higher than what I was comfortable with, but now I have an underlying product, and this is an unbeatable combination. Right here, it says include list bill. So if you had an employer or an association, you sent them the link, and we can teach you how to do it, to do the setup on it. The very next day, you can go in, and when you click list bill, it's going to add that person to the list bill that's already in place. And it's a simple agent issued application. What else is important to look at here? Accident. We scroll down here to plan enhancer. I mean, this is crazy. This is a $2,500 accident benefit per accident, less than $250 deductible I told you about. Folks, it's less than $11 a month. Well, maybe I sound like I'm on a soapbox again, so I'll stop. But as we scroll down, you'll notice we have accident benefits that can gap a bronze plan or a small employer plan with the 8150 benefit. It's $26. All right. And then as you scroll down, you begin to see the plan enhancer with the cancer, heart, stroke rider. And remember what I said, this is a $5,000 benefits guarantee issue. And none of these benefits coordinate. So theoretically, I could add this to the package. So I'm going to add to the package. I'm still under $300 a month. So I think you folks get it. And believe it or not, I think a lot of people are surprised to find out we'll actually offer a $17,500 accident benefit per accident if they're willing to pay $5,174 a month. An accident-prone family, they might want to do it. And then all the way down here, after you go through all the plan enhancer, the umpteen options for plan enhancer, you will find TrioMed. TrioMed is the product that waives that $15 a month association fee. So if you add TrioMed to our short-term product, it's like getting TrioMed for $21 and change per month. And don't forget, it's guarantee issue. They breathe air, they got a credit card, they can have it. And if you really love it, but you want more, oh, and by the way, with TrioMed, they're buying a $2,500, $5,000, or $10,000 benefit per accident, less their $250 deductible. We also have another version where if your customer is willing to answer a couple of health history questions, we're giving them $15,000 or $30,000 of critical illness and a flat $5,000 of accident benefit. All right, so before I tab you to death, going through all these tabs and make you dizzy, I just wanted to touch, I think, on one more. We'll do critical illness. There's a $2,500 benefit for $32 a month, a price that will never change. Or if you've got someone with a deep family history of cancer, they know they're going to get cancer, they get a $100,000 benefit here. $100,000. All right, I lied. I'm going to click one more tab for cancer. These are affordable rates. So that's what I wanted to push out there to you folks today. I don't know. We're pushing right up against the hour mark here. I was wondering, does anyone have any questions that you'd like to get addressed and make yourself more comfortable?
Yeah, Phil, we have a bunch of questions here.
All right, go ahead.
I mean, just a ton of great information. I even have questions myself, but I'm gonna we're gonna let the folks on the line ask their questions here. So the first question here, it says, is COVID considered a critical illness now?
No. Critical illness is defined as one of 15 conditions, including like cancer, heart attack, stroke, loss of, yeah. So no, sorry.
Okay. All right. So not COVID in itself. Okay. So
No.
the next question from Beverly says, can someone with diabetes get the plan enhancer?
Yes, because the accident and the cancer, heart, stroke are a guarantee issue. No health questions.
Awesome. Awesome. The next question here, do any of these plans cover chiropractor?
No.
No. Short and to the point.
I'm sorry. I don't want to waste your time. It sounds so negative. Yeah, I'm scared you're going to ask me a question I can't answer, but go ahead.
No. That's great. I mean, one of the questions actually that I had, I'll slip my question in here because I noticed your Trio Med, you have a guaranteed issue and one
Yes.
with that includes a critical illness. And
Yes.
as I just wanted to be clear with that because obviously you may have someone that has had some health issues. That's something that
Ah,
would still be available to them.
right. It's a great question. So the way we make a guarantee issue on TrioMed is we cover the first instance only. So if you come in the
Uh,
door, yes, if you come to us with a family with a history of cancer personally,
mhm.
we're going to provide, and I should maybe pull up a brochure. Well, it might take too long. If you come in the door with cancer, for example, we exclude that, but we cover you for the other critical conditions. That's really the way that we can make a guarantee issue.
Okay, very good. Next question here, do the rates for the fixed indemnity differ from one state to another?
No.
No.
I had to
Okay.
think about it for a second. We actually have book rates. We actually have like a rate sheet. Like, so if you're old school and you don't want to have, you really don't have to run a rate. You could hang it near your desk. You don't forget to talk about it. But yeah,
Right.
they do not vary and the rates don't change once the customer gets in it. Although we do reserve the right to raise the rates, we never have.
Okay, and so I think this next question has more to do with definition. What is the difference between hospital admission and confinement for sickness?
Oh, that's a good question. So,
Because I noticed as far as hospital admission, there was I think $500 for the value plan. It was 500 at 3 times a year. Then confinement for sickness was 1,000 per day. So I think the question has more to do with the definition. What is the difference between hospital
okay.
admission and then confinement for sickness?
Gotcha. Okay, so let's pretend you have an arm broken in like 10 places and
Mhm.
or like 3 places and you just go to the emergency room. Okay, so you'll get whatever our emergency room benefit is, but if you're not admitted, you just go home and it is what it is. If you're admitted, we give you the $500 a day. And for every day you're confined there, I'm sorry. For the mission, we give $500 up to 3 per year, looking at the value plan. Then when you are confined to the hospital, like you can't leave, that's, so for every day you're in the hospital, can't leave because they say you can't, we're providing $1,000 a day, a benefit that grows over time on the
Mm,
value plan.
okay.
That's the difference. So
Okay.
it's really a play on words. If you're admitted, you get the benefit, and obviously when you're admitted, you also get the confinement benefit. Hope
Okay.
that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to say, and just to be very honest here, I did not know anything. I didn't know anything about the fixed benefit indemnity plan. So
Well, now you
I'm
do.
actually, yeah.
Now you do, and you also know that we have the most straightforward plan. We don't play games. We don't hide the surgical schedule, which is very common.
Right.
And the plan has a lot of applicability, more so now than ever. But with any product, customer needs to know what they're getting themselves into. right? We want to eliminate surprises. So if you're new to short-term medical, you're new to fixed indemnity, I didn't have time to give you the disclaimers that you need today. Call me because I'm going to tell you things like, and I'm going to make this quick, like short-term medical. The customer needs to know three things. Doesn't cover pre-existing conditions, kind of like a rental car, get you from point A to point B. They need to read their contract. They need to understand the exclusions. We have a 10-day free look, but we'll actually honor the 10-day free look out 30 days. So both the agent and the customer need to read the exclusions, make sure they're comfortable. And third, and most important for short-term medical and for the limited benefit, because we don't cover pre-existing conditions, every time they submit a claim, we're going to write to the doctor for records. Okay. And it does. So the third point is the most important. It does not work like an Affordable Care Act plan. You submit your claim, they're paying it, assuming it's not cosmetic surgery or non-covered charge. Short-term medical works the opposite. Every carrier does it the same way. We're going to send your customer a letter. The letter's going to say, who have you seen in the last year as far as doctors and what medications you've taken? If you blow that letter off, your claim is never going to get looked at. They need to know that. So my point is, and I don't want to harp on it, is simply this.
Sure.
You put the right person in, you provide them with the disclaimers, you have the supplemental conversation, and at the end of the day, you have someone who's confident. They know what's going on, and they can navigate through all this.
Absolutely. And Phil, just another question here. Where can I find the agent guides or brochures for this?
Oh, that's good. All right. So it's natgenhealth.com. natgenhealth.com. I'm going to try and go there and just show you because it's pretty cool. It's everything. It's claim forms. It's the whole kit and caboodle. So this is for the member here. If you could see this here, and then for agents, they're going to click Agent Tools. I don't get too far into this, but when you click Agent Tools, we've got all of our products, everything for all of our products.
Awesome.
They can download, and we also have Spanish language brochures, which while you don't see them here, if you are an agent with a Spanish speaking population, reach out and I can get you what you need. We have everything here except for the Spanish language.
Absolutely.
And the website is natgenhealth.com. For whatever reason, it's displaying as this, but the website is natgenhealth.com.
Awesome. All right. Phil, thank you so much for everything you went through. I mean, eye-opening. Thank you for all the detail.
Yeah.
And I know that a lot of our agents got a lot of value out of what you just presented.
Thank you.
Before we do close out, Phil, is there anything that you want to say in closing to the agents online with us?
Yeah, I want to say thank you. I love you folks. You are now experts in what we got, and if you're not comfortable with being labeled an expert, call me. If you have to leave me a message, I'm going to call you back quicker than most people. And I hope that the last thing anybody wants is a stiff PowerPoint and with a lot of things that don't matter. So hopefully, I've done my best today to fit this into the world of an agent, and I hope some of it resonates with you. But if you have questions, need help, call us. And thank everybody for the time.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Absolutely. So once again, Phil, I appreciate everything that you just shared with us. And actually have an agent asking for your number. I know that you had also put Tabitha up as far as
let's
their
bring that up
information.
real quick, and so my information is here. You can reach me there. I'll just leave it up. You call me right now. I'm here to help. I actually get paid to help you folks, so I'd like to earn my money. I'm not lazy. And for those of you that need to get a hold of Tabitha, let me current slide. Yeah, she and I have worked on and off for 30 years together. I left and came back 3 times. She's been here the whole time. I'd stop shy of using the word battle axe, but she can break through walls to help you folks, and she's waiting to take your call. But we don't shove everything on her. I mean, I have a lot of knowledge of our systems, and we will do anything we can to support you. We appreciate the business, and we want to make you comfortable with what we have and give it to you in a real world fashion that makes sense.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Phil. Thank you so much for going through the information. Once again, I want to thank everyone that's on the line with us today for taking time out of your day. And if you are not a Messer agent, please keep in mind these are the types of trainings that we have available to our agents all the time. And Phil has just been fantastic today, so we definitely thank him for that. Hopefully, you learned something that's going to help you add to your business. Once again, if you're not contracted with Messer Financial, please give us a call. We're happy to sit down, talk to you, go over all the different advantages that are available through Messer. This type of training, we have live support for you, and we have many different programs that's going to benefit you and help you grow your business. Also, take just a few moments to check our events calendar at messerfinancial.com. We have webinar workshops throughout the week, and we have them scheduled throughout the year with valuable information, just like Phil just shared with us. So once again, thank you all for joining us, and please take care of yourselves and everyone around you. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye now.